notes on possession. So the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about possession, when it comes to men that are more in a masculine frame, is that the foundational layer of where like healthy, I think, possession starts is with the relationship with your mother. Meaning, like, you're held by her, or at least this is supposed to happen in many instances. You're held by her, you're comforted, you're loved, you're nourished. She takes care of you, protects you, very warm and embracing. And it's like a sense of trust, a sense of bonding and connection, and a sense of possession in a way, because you feel like that's your mom. Like, that's the first real, like, feminine, energetic connection that you have with a woman. However, when these are broken, this relationship is broken, I think that that possession that you lacked with the first real love of your life gets projected onto other women. For me, I think I've carried around a whole lot of shame around this topic because I treated women very poorly when I was younger, in my young 20s, low 20s, and even when I was a teenager, just trying to figure out like my ways around relationships and how to love and what that means, because love has a bunch of different context to it depending on how you perceive it, right? It's like that saying, we accept the love we think we deserve. And with that comes, for me, like a whole list of bullshit that I had to go through. Like, I went through this heavy phase of cheating in relationships, of not being loyal to myself, very jealous and very possessive. So one of the things that helped me, that I'm starting to realize now, is the fact that I feel like I have more possession with my work, with the things that I'm doing. I started training in martial arts and I felt very possessive with that. Like, it was the one thing that I can control, and I wanted to control myself and constantly put myself in training environments and different things to challenge myself. And that was one of my first loves, that I like really feel like I cultivated in a healthy way, where I really started to like work on my inner dialogue towards myself, my boundaries with myself, with the outer world. And I felt like, to me, training was like embracing for me. Like, I felt loved in the community that I train. I mean, I still do. And I feel like I started to really develop a sense of self-worth and respect when it comes to these things. And so I feel like I had a possession on it. But then I started getting into, competition, fighting, and even like loosening my possession hold with that, because I feel like it was getting tight after a while. Like, my mind was getting like identified with it. And now I'm more in a teaching, coaching position. I opened up a school about 7 months ago. And so now this is my new form of possession, if that's what you want to call it. That's kind of how I perceive it. And it has a lot of parallels to the brokenness of a connection with the mother. Because I noticed that, like, even with the way that I talk to people or communicate with people and how I grow my business and what that looks like, it has a lot of parallels of my own healing work with my relationship that I didn't necessarily have with my mom. So it's interesting for me to kind of sit still and reflect on these things, because it is intense. And sometimes I feel like when my possessiveness is too tight on it. Like, for instance, there's certain times where I can go, work. Well, I think that's because I can control it. It feels warm, it feels embracing. And at the same time, I think you can get lost in that if you don't like somewhat release that and loosen your grip on those possessive traits too. And not to say that they're negative or bad, because I definitely have found a lot of my own like soul and spirit, and have healed like a lot of my own wounds around community and around attachment and being close to people. Like, for instance, the feeling of like bracing, like you need to brace yourself, like, oh, is this person gonna like fuck me up? Is this person gonna hurt me? But imagine that being amplified times 10, because now you're surrounded in a community where people like somewhat need you to show up as a strong version of yourself, and to, I don't want to say get over what you're experiencing or what you're trying to heal, but like, I need to show up with an open heart and allow myself to trust, allow myself to be open when it was closed for a long time. So there's a lot of things around being like possessive, I guess, that I am trying to relax. I'm trying to loosen up on. So long story short, what I'm trying to say is that by focusing and redirecting my possessive traits towards something like tangible, where I can control the outcome, or I can craft my environment how I think an environment should be crafted, and give myself in a loving manner, trying to be open, it has helped my other relationships along the way. Specifically, when it comes to my romantic relationship and relationships in all walks of my life. Business, casual friendships, deep friendships, family. It's really opened up my eyes to see things in a more broad perspective and not so narrow and tight. And like, I just remember when I was in high school how freaking possessive I was, and it destroyed relationships. And it was relationships that I really wanted to work out. It was like it was almost like I was standing behind a glass wall, like trying to scream for help, and nobody like could hear me. And I'm not trying to sound like the victim here, because I fucking did a lot of wrong in these relationships. And like, I understand, you know, the amount of hurt that I've like caused people, and specifically like women, and just being a fucking asshole, but not really knowing how to communicate. Like, yo, I'm going through a tremendous amount of intensity within my own body. My heart feels closed. I don't know how to open it. It's hard to breathe around you. I feel like I'm suffocating. You're bringing up all of my inner traumas that haven't been healed yet. And like, for me, this has been a difficult thing to like forgive myself with, in terms of like hurting around certain walks of possession, because those things were so magnified and amplified. And it seems like I was inflicting the same fucking lesson over and over and over. I'm like, damn, dog, when are you gonna get out of this? When are you gonna stop doing this? When are you gonna stop like hurting people and beating yourself up? And it literally took me till like these passing years. I'm 28 now, turning 29 this year. It took me a long time to realize, like, yeah, my possessive qualities aren't bad. It's just the way that I'm directing them. Oh, God damn. It's the way that I'm projecting them onto other people, other women, and that's not okay. The fact is like getting to a spot where you can craft them into something healthy. And I think when you start crafting these things that have like broke you on the inside, because try to paint this picture of like me being normal, like, oh, I don't have anything wrong with me. And then I started going into like arrogance and self-sabotage and hurting other people around me. And when I stopped to think about like, yo, this is fucked up, but this isn't gonna go anywhere. Meaning I can't just discharge this out of my body, like the sense of needing to be needed, I guess, or to feel that like loving embrace of a mother, or like that connection, that like feminine force. I feel like there's just other ways that I started to tap into that and to feel it in my own body, like being out in nature, going out into the hot springs, connecting with my girlfriend, being more of like a listener when I'm talking to people, being more loving towards other people, allowing people to like love me and embrace me, and not trying to like deflect as much when people are like, yo, this shit's dope you're doing, I really like this, you're awesome for this. Because it's easy for me to be like, oh yeah, haha, and just bop, like give them a compliment back, or like fucking deflect what's coming my way, which is like good energy. So if you're struggling with this, I feel what you're going through, and I recommend getting into something where you can feel that you have possession of yourself, and that you could tap into something beyond yourself and feel like you have some possession over that, and you have better boundaries towards yourself, towards the outside world. Because when it's all said and done, I don't think possession, I think there's a reason why we have those traits as a human being. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like if we had a house, you built your fucking house, and you're like, yeah, let anybody come into my house, take a shit on the floor, it's totally fine. What are you doing? Like, you're gonna be somewhat possessive of that house that you made. You're gonna draw clear boundaries. Yo, who the fuck are you? You're not coming in my house unless I know you, this and that, you know? And I think it's super important to have these traits and to craft them over time. There's a long time where I beat myself down over and over, like, why are you like this? Why are you so like possessive and this and that? And I've had people bash me for this in the past, and it serves them right, because I was kind of being, you know, a dickhead to a lot of people that were around me that I felt intimidated by because of like the love that I was receiving. So I'm out here with my dogs right now, taking a walk, and just want to pause there because I think I'm about done with this video. And this goes really deep. I might make more segments on this, on possession and what that means, but I've been on my healing journey for a long time now, and I want to start sharing more deeper insights that I have been unpacking this last year. Sharing with you guys really helps me like clear my head. It helps like not filter my thoughts, but organize my thoughts, and really creates clarity around what I'm thinking, and allows my like heart to really express and be open, because that's where I'm speaking from. I don't have a script when I'm talking to you guys on here. And hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.